Hey guys, it's Started Saiyan 13, and we are 51 days away from the release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and that means the developers are in the final stage of polishing the game, and the marketing is about to go even crazier, if you can imagine it. And it seems like some fans online are hoping that beam struggles are going to be one of the things that get polished. Now, beam clashes are a staple in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, and many great Dragon Ball games, really. There's nothing more satisfying than initiating a beam struggle and actually coming out as the victor. You can deal a crazy amount of damage and come out on the other side just feeling like you're that guy. And that's why I'm so excited that they're bringing it back in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It looks like we'll have the option to either button mash, do a timely input, or toggle the analog sticks just like when we were kids in the original Budokai Tenkaichi series. But while we're happy that beam struggles are back, there are a few online comments indicating that some fans want a change to the mechanic. Now, from what I'm seeing, there's three main problems that people are bringing up. And some people might consider this nitpicking because not everything in the game is going to be exactly how you want it. But let me know what you guys think, if there's any merit to these changes that fans want to be implemented into the beam struggle mechanic. The first issue I see brought up is the dimensional break effect. Now, obviously, the developers were going for that epic scene when Gogeta and Broly clashed in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, when the dimension shattered and created that really cool effect in the background. Now, your first instinct when you see this is, wow, that's really cool. But when you find out that anyone can initiate the dimension break effect, some of you feel like it's taking the cool factor out of it and that only high-tier Dragon Ball fighters should be able to do it. Now, honestly, I get the criticism, but it's not going to ruin the game. I know it's a little funny to imagine a character like Chaozu or Yamcha breaking dimensions with their techniques, especially if it's against like other characters of that same tier of power. But I think most of us will get used to it. I wouldn't mind if they made it exclusive to more powerful characters, but like I said, it wouldn't really affect my enjoyment of the game at all, but let me know what you guys think. Now, the camera effect is what follows the dimension break, and I can agree with most of the criticism here. Again, very reminiscent of Dragon Ball Super Broly, with the rotating camera at high speed. You can tell the developers have been having a lot of fun with the camera because it's been all over the place ever since we saw the first gameplay footage. Now, they've adjusted to make the camera more stationary during gameplay, but I agree with a lot of the fans that the camera should be a little less dynamic and all over the place during the beam clash sequences. I get what they were going for, but beam clashes in games like Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi were pretty much perfect. This is a classic example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And again, the game will be just fine if it remains, but it's a preference thing for a lot of us. It can be a little hard to see what's going on, and it makes you a little dizzy. And I think that's the main issue. Maybe rotate once. I think that's more than enough. And definitely slow it down. I think that will work wonders for this mechanic overall. And lastly, I've been seeing some complaints about the beams in general, that they're too small and that you can't really see the movement when one side is gaining an advantage over the other during the beam struggle. And I do understand the beam size thing. In some cases, I would like them to be bigger, and you have seen them improve the beam sizes over time like I expected. Some beams should be a little larger, though, larger than life, especially the Final Flash. Like, that's one of the biggest beams we've seen in the series. I haven't really felt like they were too small during the actual beam clashes, though. Like, they look fine to me there. But what do you guys think? As for the movement of the beams, again, I think Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi did it best. It was very simple, but it worked perfectly, where you could see at all times how you were performing in the beam struggle during the back and forth. It made it much more realistic and intense, and I think that's an element that should be brought over to the beam clashes in Sparking Zero. But yeah, how are you guys feeling about the beam clashes? Do you want them to dial it down in some areas, make a few changes here or there? Or maybe you're cool with it. Maybe you want it to be even crazier. I don't know. Or are you just like me and you're just happy that beam struggles are back and, whatever they decide to do, it doesn't matter because you're going to be winning every one of them. But leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out as a new YouTuber. Add me on PSN at Started Saiyan 13 so we can battle when Sparking Zero drops. And yeah, thanks for watching.